Cool. Thank you so much. As we just mentioned, my name is Joel Beleza, and I work for the travel company Expedia Inc. We host a whole variety of travel brands. I'm going to talk a little bit about how we get feedback from employees, particularly fresh eyes, and how we use it to make Expedia a better company. But first, we're going to go on a little vacation, okay? So I work at a travel brand. This is just what we do, okay? So if you wouldn't mind, take a minute. I know it's early in the morning, but let's take a little trip, okay? If you could just take a second in your seat, close your eyes. You know, we're months away from summer vacation, okay? It's beautiful outside right now, but still, let's travel. Let's journey on a little vacation. We're going to have this stress just come right off our back. We're going to go to a lovely Mexican beach. The sun is just beaming down on us, warming us. We're just having a great time. We might have a drink in our hands. May not be coffee. Maybe something a little bit spicier. And we're just feeling that stress just drop off the back of us. We're breathing in. We're exhaling. So you can open your eyes. Obviously, it's a silly, that's just a virtual vacation, but it's part of our spirit of loving travel at Expedia. And there are a little prize underneath your seat. So 2 people here, we're having an Oprah moment. 2 people here today get a $100 gift card to hotels.com. So if you're going to check underneath your seat, underneath your chair, it should be like tape there. And let me know if you find anything. Do we have a winner? I want to find out who's our winner. Cool, we got 2 winners. Yay! So congratulations. Can I ask what companies are you from? Harris Communications, excellent. And we had one other winner in the back on the left. Excellent. Congrats. So unfortunately, we couldn't all win today. We couldn't all go on a journey, but hopefully this helps to get you closer to your summer vacation and closer to like having stress fall off your back. So it's a good little fun way to start. That's where we're all going. So cool. So let's get started. Today, as I mentioned, I'm going to be talking about Expedia Inc. and about how we harness fresh eyes, insights from new employees to identify great ideas and become a better company. If you're tweeting today, feel free to use the GD Roadshow hashtag. Expedia, as I mentioned, is a whole host of brands. We just brought Travelocity. We're really excited about that brand. We're at Hotwire, we're Elong. We have great, amazing brands that each tell their own story. But one unifying factor across all of our workforce, we have 16,000 employees globally, is that we believe in being a better company. And we can do that through harnessing the insights from employees, particularly new hires. So I mentioned earlier fresh eyes, and I know that probably has a lot of different operational definitions, but how we see it is it's the opposite of déjà vu. It's almost like vuja day. It's someone seeing something. Yeah, I know. It's like, this is my first time in this room, and coming in here, you're going to see something potentially different than an employee or a staff member who's presented here and been here many, many times. And how can you harness those insights to become a better organization? So, hold on, wait. I'm going to go back one. So I think we have a video. So let me show you a little bit more about the culture of Expedia and how we get great ideas for employees, and that could be ways to improve our IT organization, and it could be ways that we can improve our brand marketing. So this is a little bit of part of our marketing content, and I think we have a video we're going to play. a kind of a cool brand message, and we use this in our consumer marketing, but in addition to telling our consumers that, hey, go find yours, really we look inwards and we see we need to find ours. And the way we find our ideas and insights is by asking our employees. So let me show you exactly how we do it. First off, we start with we serving all applicants, and just like we were talking about just a moment ago, at every stage we value that input. If you come to Expedia and you interview on the phone or in person, we're going to ask for feedback right away because we want to learn whether someone's on the phone, during that interview, or whether there's a way to optimize the email service. We want to improve as a company. We know we're not perfect, and right off the bat, we're gonna ask those fresh eyes for that input. Two. The onboarding process forward, we have our onboarding start on day one. So it's a Monday, you're tired, you're learning all the new practices, you get your name badge at Expedia, but we bring you into a room and we talk about our culture, and right off the bat we say, we want your feedback. That's super important to us. And one of the ways that we reaffirm that message is we have an email address that's just Ask Dara. And our CEO, Dar, for Expedia Inc., he receives these messages, and this could be feedback on ideas, this could be questions, any type of query you want to send, you can send it directly to that email, and every one of our employees can do that. And that sends a powerful message. It not only gets great input from fresh eyes, but it sends a message that, hey, this is your company too. We want your impact. It's supremely important that you participate in that process. Three, of course, we use Glassdoor as one of our core channels to get employee insights and insights from applicants who interview with us. We're always about process improvement. The way we do it is we kind of collect it together. In addition to the engagement team responding on kind of a one-by-one basis, we also have directors that review that content on a monthly basis so they can start to really pull together what are the themes we're seeing. Is it about internal employee engagement that we need to tweak or adjust, or is it about a salary or other benefits that we need to consider? So this is a constant discussion, and it's very easy to say, and this was highlighted just a moment ago in the previous presentation, but it's very easy to say we want your feedback. But actually setting up those ongoing meetings with senior leadership, that's actually how you move the ball forward. And obviously brands like Zillow make that a top priority with their leadership reviewing those reviews. And lastly, check in. When new employees are coming on board, there's fresh eyes. They see opportunity, but they're also they have a million responsibilities. They're checking their email. They're just, it can be really overwhelming. So maybe 2 weeks out, 30 days out, 45 days, 2 months, 3 months out, continuing to check in both at the manager level and by directly sending them emails saying, hey, what have you noticed? Are there ways that we can become a better company? Are there opportunities that we're not utilizing that we should seek out? And it could be, you could have a software engineer. We have a huge technology business, obviously, at Expedia, but they could recognize something in HR, and then they say, wow, we can improve this. It's those types of fresh eyes that I think are so powerful. So, yeah, big key message here is make it important and make it essential. If you're going to leave here today with a takeaway, just from my experience working in Expedia and other brands, it's very easy to just say that you're going to have an open door policy, but really to put some meat behind it and how you're going to get this feedback and make your organization stronger. So let me tell you a quick story about how Expedia has taken feedback from a new hire, from someone with fresh eyes, and improved our product that tens of millions of people use every single month. So let's do this. So this is Tizzy. She is a new hire to our user interface team. And when she joined the company last year, she noticed something. She looked at our website and realized, wait a second, if I'm in the flights area, we have the date format in one style. And if I'm in the hotels area, it's in another format. And started searching around, and what she realized, we actually had 18 different ways of displaying dates. And this is not just like a user experience issue, because sometimes we're not just doing this in the US, we're doing this for all the countries we serve. So in some countries, including if we have it in Norwegian, it actually translates in some instances to year of death. So it's like, oh my God, this is all those customers booking, hotels. Boy, really want to do that one. So obviously, her fresh eyes identified an opportunity to improve a product that millions of people used. She worked with the team to audit our site, figured out a solution that then could be translated to all our global partners, and it's better. And now we're rolling that out on Expedia.com. So listening to fresh eyes makes all the difference because they have great insights and no more year of death. So yeah. And if there's, I have one more video to show. I don't know, do we have the video queued up in the back? Yeah, it'll be on the next slide. Okay, cool. So we have one more video to show, and this is also one of those like takeaways that I would offer today. Is it's one thing to make it a priority. It's one thing to ask, but you also have to then be ready to answer and respond to those questions and feedback. This example is actually from a consumer brand you probably will know. And it's facing consumers, but I think the same dynamic works for employees. If you ask your employees for feedback and then don't respond or engage with them, it's going to turn them off. So we don't want to do this. So you get that example. Now that particular video was put together by a kind of a wage advocacy group, so it's not telling the whole picture. But if you actually went to McDonald's Facebook page and some of their other social channels and looked at the questions, they would only respond to food-related questions. So at some point inside the organization, and every company has to operate differently, they made a decision to comment on one way and not comment on some other topics. So looking internal, if you're having a Q&A discussion, engage leadership on maybe some areas that you're not ready to speak about, but have that plan in place at the onset. But hopefully you'll be able to, come with an answer to all the questions from your employees, because keeping them engaged makes such a huge difference for building your brand. So it's simple. Just ask, listen, use Glassdoor, and you can do great things and find great ideas. And if there's just one last thing I would offer, it's not everyone got a Hotels.com gift card today. I know, shoot. But we all have great ideas underneath us and in our organization. All we have to do is ask, listen, and do. So that's my little spiel for today. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to help.
All right. Does anyone have any questions for Joel? Raise your hand. Hi. Oh.
Joel, how do you respond to, whether they're on Glassdoor or internally from your employees, comments about management, behavior, culture, or treatment? Is it any different than a product idea, or any difference in who would respond?
Sure. So the question was, how do we respond to kind of criticism or feedback on management versus a product idea or feedback? It's going to matter depending on the channel. We're going to reply differently if it's maybe a Q&A in our quarterly town halls. That's something we record video and it's live, and so it's right there, and we work with our leadership to support them in responding to those questions. If it's something that needs research, we're going to go back, do that research, and then follow up by email. But we're very much focused on timeliness. If it's anonymous employee feedback, like on a Glassdoor profile, it depends on the profile. We take the position that we don't have to reply to every single positive, neutral, or negative review or feedback, because in a sense, that also that looks robotic, almost like what we were just watching with McDonald's, you know? We want to be authentic. So there's instances when we can reply, like maybe it's a criticism of leadership, and we think it adds value and it's a legitimate post, we're going to say, thank you for your feedback. We've shared this with the team. You know, we really appreciate you taking time to share and make Expedia a great company. And so I'd say more often than not, my role always starts at customer service, and that's customers that are inside as employees, or that's customers outside as candidates or actual users of Expedia products. And if you come with that mindset that like, no, it really comes from love, you can do great things. So.
Any other questions? Coming over.
Can you talk a little bit about kind of what your team looks like to review the volume of a 30, 60, 90 follow-up? It seems like you guys get a lot of feedback, but so who's involved in that?
Sure. So yeah, it's primarily hosted by our huge engagement team, which is like, 7 people, but we do our best. We kind of chop it up and we partner with our recruiting team, because a lot of that feedback is more relevant to our recruiting practices. But we have a team member, Rini, hopefully she's watching. She manages that kind of feedback by email and outreach by email. We do send very soon into the onboarding process an email specifically with Glassdoor to ask for feedback, to ask for reviews. And the thought process is, you're like, wait, they're new to the organization. What could they possibly offer? And what we've realized is one of the most important parts of Glassdoor is about the interview onboarding process. It's literally the first two weeks, maybe 30 days, 90 days. That's one of the most crucial times to really harness and get those fresh eyes to offer feedback so you can become a better organization. So yeah, my answer is it's a combination of email handled by about 3 different team members. The product that I primarily lead up is our Glassdoor outreach. And we set distribution lists and see that as an easy method to target new hires and then kind of connect them with the brand.
Right on. Any other questions? One more. Coming back.
Cool.
This is my workout for the day.
Joel, you mentioned that you survey all interviewees. I'm wondering what the mechanism you use to do that is, what your response rate is, and what the biggest single thing you learned from those surveys is.
Sure. So total transparency, that's actually a product that's owned by my colleagues in recruiting, so I don't have direct access to those numbers. I'm just going to generally share, it's probably going to be a lower response rate than your onboard employees, because there's not a specific incentive to offer that feedback, that we don't have it attached at all with our actual which are our actual hiring practices. But that feedback, just generally that I've received from my partners in recruiting, mostly focus on like timeliness of communication. So making sure that there's a little of a window between someone when they apply to when we actually give them feedback of one way you're going to continue with the hiring process or you're not going to continue. So it's like it's more transactional than brand in that type of input. But collectively, you're engaging that applicant to improve the application process. You're engaging the new hire to improve your onboarding process, and then you're engaging that employee to improve your employee experience. So hopefully collectively, in whatever partners you make across your organization, you're improving all 3 of those elements. Cool. Well, thank you so much today, and hope it was good.